fuck did that shit go right back to that?
You know, we're all speculating what Trump's going to do, and we're going to base our tail getting exhausted trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, forget Trump. Isn't it concerning that China and Russia are playing a long game? They look at our leaders like Biden and Obama and Trump and Bush and the rest of them and say, you're going to be gone in 4 years. Why should I take you serious? Whereas their dictators are there for decades, and they're playing a long game. And when you see their ships and their military taking control of all different parts of the world, doesn't that concern you a little bit?
So let me tell you something. To all one of you looking, that's a fucking lie. China is not. They military, their navy cannot fuck with the U.S. Navy. Period. That's our biggest asset. Is that we get our military and how we're able to mobilize, bro. Like, so all that fear mongering that we concerned about China and no, we're not. If we was, we'd go handle our business. We will never let them be able to dictate how we can move on the seaways. So that's just fear mongering.
That concerns me a lot because that's happening right here. The same way I'm concerned about the fact that Donald Trump has said that he wants to raise tariffs as his economic policy, particularly because most people who voted for him voted on an economic, racism, and they voted for economics such that they...
There's plenty of black people that voted for Trump that's not racist. There's plenty of Asians, Hispanics, like they did the numbers. So all that Trump this, Trump that, people voted for what they felt was best at the time, man.
What concerns me more is the utter stupidity of the leadership we have coming in to this nation. The president-elect who has said he is going to make his economic policy tariffs, which is going to make everything more expensive, which is why I talked about what's happening in Argentina, because they've already done what he said he wants to do. What concerns me more than Russia and
What's up, Angel? You know, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, but I've just gone through these radio stations, listening to this talk radio and hearing the lies and the bullshit and the deception. We already got tariffs. It was tariffs from before. If I was the president and I didn't like what the previous president did, I will take away his tariffs or what have you. If they felt that the tariffs were so bad, they would have got rid of the tariffs that Trump had before that, the tariffs that Obama had. Biden put tariffs on other countries too. You know, it's called import taxes. And then they are so like I used to love Irvin View on satellite radio because of Joe Madison, God bless the dead, but he used to talk real politics with facts. Since he died, this channel has went downhill and turned into some leftist black racism. Like, all you hear is black people cry this victim mentality, and they try to fucking brainwash us that has a brain and tell us that, oh my God, these people hate you, these people doing this. This is how I look at it. Let's say everybody hates you. That don't stop you from breathing. That don't stop you from accomplishing stuff. You might have to work harder. You might have to grind. But all this, just put it in your head that that's what's already happening. It's when they fucking lie to you and try to make you think that they for you, and while you up there thinking that they for you, and then they do you dirty. Like they say, betrayal never comes from your enemies. Betrayal comes from the ones that you think is your friend, a so-called friend. Betrayal never comes from your enemies. So I don't know why we sit here blinded, like when everything that went wrong in this country came under both parties. That's why I'm an independent. It came from Republicans. We had good Republicans back from good Democrats, bad Democrats. But they be sitting here acting like they can't be impartial. They gotta have to champion for the Democrats. Yo, they talk more about Trump than the own damn president. And if they was taking over everything, guess what? Biden's the president, not Trump. And then they let people call into these radio stations and don't fact check them.
Is the reason that we have idiots or morons and criminals in this country trying to take advantage, lake and rise. I'm sure you're familiar with
So that you were in favor then of the Democrats' border bill.
a bill that is common sense oriented, letting folks into this country that are documented. You know, I called the show 20 years ago, Lori, that I said, well, I'm sorry?
It's Lori. You said Lori.
Lori, I'm sorry. But I called the show 20 years ago, and I said to the host, it's so frustrating to watch Republicans and Democrats constantly fighting in D.C., never getting anything done, and yet people are pouring into this country, working illegally and not paying taxes.
So, but you do know that the rates of immigration are down, I'm sure, and you do know that there was a border bill that was negotiated press agreed to that would have put an additional 1,500 to 2,500 border patrol agents at the border, would have added additional judges to the immigration system, would have added additional personnel so that people could get properly processed through the border, and that there would be additional captures. And it was a bill that was so conservative. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was cruel and very Republican. I'm sure you can receive that in the spirit in which I'm giving it. But I thought it was absolutely cruel, as did many on the left, and Democrats agreed to it. They ran in an effort to support it. This was something that gave the Republicans more of their talking points and policy positions on immigration than anything that happened before, so much so that Republicans said, if we don't accept this now, the Democrats will never agree to give us this much later. And they were going to vote on it, and it would have done everything that you wanted that bill to do. But Donald Trump told them to say no, to not bring it up for a vote, because he did not want the Democrats to have a win so that he could run on this during the election. So he obviously didn't care as much about Lincoln Riley as you may have, because he was willing to allow that border to stay open. He was willing to allow fentanyl to continue coming in. He was willing to allow all of the things that concern you to keep happening for his personal electoral win.
So now let me eat her lying ass up. So you mean to tell me, out of 435 people that had to vote on this bill, that one man that was not in office, and as far as anybody knew before this election, will come back into political power, can just make a phone call and they just stop it so that he can win the election? What about the app that they had to fly the illegal immigrants in? Not even illegal, the migrants in. What about that app that came? What about how they opened the border? They acting like it's all people coming from Mexico. No, they're coming from Venezuela and stuff. These are Venezuelan immigrants. They are flying them in. They gave them the sanctuary. They paid for the hotels. They gave them $350 a week in food stamps, SNAP benefits, so they can eat their native food. So all this bullshit about, oh, it Bill would have did this and that. No, what about when they open up the borders for them? So they need to cut it out, man. They full of shit with that. Yo, she lost. It is what it is. Boom. We don't hear shit from her since she lost. They still in office. She right back to being quiet again. Biden is starting all types of shit, doing missile attacks, all types of shit. Nobody saying nothing about that. Nobody saying nothing about that. Yeah, he parted his degenerate crackhead son, and he also parting a bunch of fucking murderers and child pedophiles and all types of stuff. They don't talk about that. But all of them, like, come on, we used to say it all the time. You can't trust a politician, bro. You cannot trust a politician. Politicians ain't trying. Look at, what's his name? Fat Sharpton, Al Sharpton, fat ass. He was getting paid to do them interviews with Kamala. Got paid $500,000 to give her that softball interview. He ain't want to do it, and then everybody keep talking about him like, I don't know who elected him. I don't know where they had these elections at to be a leader of the black community, because these fools are not my leader at all, man. Nobody don't trust no Al Sharpton. None of these entertainers, like, only black people elect entertainers, or they put entertainers to be our representation like they're leaders. Because a motherfucker can tell a joke do not mean that they're a political leader for us. Because a motherfucker could play basketball or act in a movie does not make them fucking intelligent. And they do not speak for all of us. All people are not the same. You got people that grew up in the suburbs, people that's urban, nerds, athletes. Like, we are all different, complex people, but they try to group all of us into one thing. And we got to stop looking at it as Democrats and Republicans. It's upper class and lower class. The upper class, the elites, they don't care about us at the bottom. They let us argue over this petty stuff while they all sit and rub elbows. If you think that Biden ain't cool with the Republicans and the Republicans, we are fools, man. All of them rub elbows together. All of them are cool with each other. You ain't see these people going crazy when they seen that after the election. Biden had Trump over at the White House and they sitting down, hanging out, chilling, having a good old time, laughing at the rest of the public. They be trying to treat this damn politics like it's gangbanging. Like, oh, you're a Democrat, you can't talk to a Republican. You can't be around a Republican. You're a Republican. You can't be, now you MAGA, you this, you that. Elon Musk is going to be the president. Elon Musk. How dare Zuckerberg go talk to Trump? Like, it's crazy. What you think? We wouldn't be on none of these apps. Like, and if they talk all this stuff about America, go to these other countries. You're not talking shit about their government out loud. Like, Americans think that the Constitution follows them outside of this country. No. You don't have the First Amendment rights once you leave out of here. Go to Turkey and talk about the government and see what's going to happen to you and your family. Go ahead. Go to any one of these countries and talk that talk. They going to have your ass incarcerated quick. Go ask Enes Kanter. I used to play basketball. I changed his name to Freedom and all that shit. He was talking against that government. They put an international warrant on him for tweets and stuff, and for talking about the injustices they was doing over there. They don't talk about that shit. They don't talk about that. They always talk about these little radio stations that sit there to rile people up, fire them up, and then, like, what kill me is you can't preach hate to combat hate. You can't say these people are this and that and hate people and that, this, that, and the third, and you're doing the same hate rhetoric, just with election on it. You know, so I don't understand. Like, that's why I say F all of them. We need a new party. We need, like, straight independent. Like I was telling everybody to vote for Jill Stein. Like, let's not vote against our own interests. Certain things we need. Like, we need to have a military. We need to have border control. But anywhere you go, they got an immigration policy. You just can't come into a country and then establish yourself without going through the proper channels. If you try it, they're going to deport you. When I was in Italy, I remember it was a building that wasn't far from my hotel, and I used to go to, like, the main strip, and I walked there to get breakfast. And then I was past this damn building, and there'd be a long line. And I noticed there's like a bunch of Africans and stuff on that line. And I was wondering what it was, and I went over. I was in Naples, and I wanted, be nosy to see what the line was. And it was immigration, where people was going there to go through the proper channels to become a citizen or get their visa to be in Italy, to be in Naples. Like, we act like it's wrong to have what we had for hundreds of years. We always had an immigration policy. We didn't have the problem we had right now because the most illegal was from Canada, that their visa expired and they just stayed in the country. They had like school visas and work visas, and once it expired, they just stayed in the country. You know, we talk about all, like she said, fentanyl, all that stuff came through. I'm not saying that's a lie, but they acting like that stuff that is known for Mexican cartels. The problem that we're having right now is with Venezuelan illegals. Like, they set that poor lady on fire in New York. Another guy was set on fire last week. Like, I seen it firsthand when I was in New York, how bad it got. And it's terrible. Also see where they evicted American homeless people. First off, if we could put away, take in migrants from other countries because the conditions of living is poor, we could take care of the homeless crisis we got right here in this country. It shouldn't be no Skid Row in LA at all. Because if we could put up these other people, we could put up people right here. We got plenty of land we could build and stuff, and stop caring about people during the holidays. That's the only time everybody act like they care about somebody is during the holiday. Then everybody want to make their heart feel good for fucking 20 minutes. They gave out 1 meal, gave out a blanket, but then forget about these people for the rest of the year. Till the holidays come back around and they can pull out their camera and make themselves think they're a good person. You know? As soon as I get to a light, I'm gonna read that. I'm on my way to the doctor. I'm like, got 5 minutes to get there, so I could go over my I had an MRI done for the 28th, and I read the results online, but I gotta go over with the doctor to see if I'm gonna get surgery or what. Yeah, Sharpton is a joke. He's a big clown. Thank you, Jay Aggression. I appreciate all the support, man. Appreciate all the support. I've been in the military this year will make 22 years. I've been in 21 years. This year make 22 years. I like it. I'm ready to retire though, but I like it. I'm gonna do 24 years. But yeah, Al Sharpton's the biggest joke. Al Sharpton been stealing from the same community that he claimed he there to protect. He been stealing from us all these years. I remember fat Al Sharpton with the perm. Well, I think he still got the perm. But fat ass Al Sharpton looked like one of the a fat little rat. And then come to find out he was a rat. They say he was ratting on the mafia. And my thing is this: how could you be an informant with the mafia if you wasn't in business with the mafia? How are you supposed to be a reverend but you in business with the mafia? And I would say allegedly, but it was posted in the New York in the New York newspapers and stuff, showing that the FBI revealed that he was a confidential informant all this time. Then he went and had that weight loss surgery and looked crazy. But it's a lot of cats, not just him. Dr. Umar Johnson, aka Umar Johnson, all he do is steal from the black community and had them donated to this school for the last 15 years, and he just now getting it finished. And then as soon as he got it finished done, all he did was trash the community, talking about he gave the work to people outside of the community, and they did in 1 year what black people couldn't do in 10 years. No, you wanted people to work for free. That's what it is. He wanted people to work for free. He wanted them to get free labor, free material, and everything, but you taking millions of dollars in donation. Make it make sense. So when he said he had to pay double to get, as he said, white contractors to come in, he wasn't paying double. He was actually paying them, and he should pay double. Fuck him. He was stealing money for 15 years to get to school. He should pay double. Let's hear some more of this buffoonery before I gotta go on base.
Yeah, what's the booth? It's a booth. Yeah. I mean, if you're right, Richard, very seriously and really, engaging in the information.
It's controversial that they all need to go. Do you think that this was one of, if not the biggest issue for this election? Well, I think if we can't, there's 47 of us in the Senate, and if we can't pull up with 7 votes, and if we can't get at least 7 out of 47, and if we can't, then that's the reason why we lost. That's one of them. That's one of why we lost.
John Fetterman seems to be the only one who is out there who's willing to explore why Democrats lost and not explore it from a psycho place. I mean, he's a lefty. He's definitely far left, but I don't know what's happened. Because I was like, this guy was running. I'm like, how can anybody vote for this guy? His brain's mashed potatoes. How can this be? And Democrats were acting, like he was Dan Jeopardy next week, just like they were doing with Joe Biden. Now all of a sudden, John Fetterman's the one making sense. So I don't know, and maybe it was just a stroke that impaired his speech. Fine, I can believe
2
that.
minutes.
But he's this level of
It looked like it's a line at the damn gate.
Commonsensical about stuff. Why is he such a lefty? It's weird, and maybe he's not. So I can't figure out if he's messing with us. Like, is he trolling us the way Trump trolls them? Like, is that what's happening here? Like, is this a double troll? I don't know. Yeah, but he's like, yeah, I voted for it. This is the reason. This is why you lost. And I kind of of wish they wouldn't listen to them because I don't like them figuring out, you know, why they lost, because then they're going to stop doing what they're doing. So I thought that was okay. So there's more on that. So they also talked about Greenland and Donald Trump talking about buying Greenland, and there are fewer than 60,000 people in Greenland. Did you know that? There's fewer than 60,000 people. 55,700 and something people in Greenland. And my feeling is he offered each $1 million, and they probably take the money and run. They probably won't run. They're probably like, oh, it's $5 million. You know, but Donald Trump will start out at like 500,000, work his way up.
Me too.
But I get the value of Greenland.
I got like 1 minute to find parking and to run into the hospital. Oh no, I ain't even got 1 minute. I gotta get it in now.
Well, you take over all these countries and you take over the rest of the world.
Oh man, can you drive any slower?
We're not going to do that. So here's John.
Looks like your ass going the wrong way, Playboy.
Speaking about his view on Greenland with Brett Baker.
There's a lot of talk about Greenland, for example. And I know there's a lot of freakouts, you know, and of course I would never support taking it by force. But I do think it's a thoughtful conversation if they were open to acquiring it and, you know, whether just buying it outright. I mean, if anyone thinks that's...
Has said that several times. He criticizes his party. Has said that several times. He criticizes his party for quote-unquote freaking out over every little thing. And I think he understands that.
Nigga, what are you doing? Run to my appointment. Where the owl is that? D.